In the turbulent years of the 1860s, America found itself at the crossroads of its own destiny. The flames of dissent ignited a nation, torn asunder by ideals, convictions, and the enduring struggle for freedom. This is the story of the American Civil War. At the heart of this conflict stood a nation divided, its leaders grappling with the notion of a house divided against itself. President Abraham Lincoln, a man burdened by the weight of a nation, sought to preserve the Union against the rising tide of secession. As brothers took up arms against brothers, a war of ideologies and economies unfolded. The institution of slavery, a festering wound on the nation's soul, lay at the epicenter of this struggle. The first clashes were raw and chaotic as both sides grappled with the harsh realities of war. The Battle of Bull Run would serve as a brutal awakening, dispelling any illusions of a swift resolution. The Civil War, a theater of blood and sacrifice, unfolded across the nation. From the hallowed grounds of Gettysburg to the swamps of Vicksburg, the land bore witness to a nation tearing itself apart. Amidst the carnage, voices of change rose. Men like Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman lent their voices to a chorus demanding an end to the shackles that bound their brethren. On the opposing side, General Robert E. Lee, a symbol of Southern tradition, led his troops with a conviction rooted in heritage and defiance. In 1863, President Lincoln, in a momentous act, declared the emancipation of slaves, forever altering the course of the war and the nation's history. As the war raged on, African American soldiers, fighting for their own emancipation, marched into the crucible of battle, proving their mettle and valor. In 1865, after years of bloodshed and suffering, the war reached its bitter end. General Lee, recognizing the futility of continued conflict, met with General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Court House. The nation, scarred and battered, faced the arduous task of healing and rebuilding. The seeds of change were sown, but the echoes of the Civil War would resonate for generations. In the crucible of conflict, a nation emerged, scarred but resolute. The Civil War, a chapter written in blood, etched the path toward a more perfect union. This was a war that shaped a nation, a war that defined America.